There's several reasons. There's never one reason. I always say there's never one reason for a tragedy. Usually there's multiple congruent things that all happen together. All right. One is the lack of information. The physicians, many, are simply not trained. It's not part of their medical education to know how metabolic therapies could manage disease. They're just not trained in that. So you have this lack of knowledge. All right. So that's a fundamental problem. There's a reliance on procedures that have been used for decades only because everybody always uses them. And there's been no challenge to that, despite all the evidence that it doesn't work. And I hate to say it, but it's true, there's an economic issue. All right? These approaches that are used here, metabolic approaches, are simply not capable of generating the revenues to run medical schools and hospital clinics and this kind of thing. The revenue generated, this is not yet, the entrepreneur has not yet found a way to make this approach profitable. You know, there's bills to pay. How are you going to run a hospital if you're using therapies that generate little revenue? All right, this is not compatible with the business model, right? Despite the scientific evidence indicating that this will be a powerful new approach to managing the disease, no one has yet figured out how this can be profitable for the institutions and the individuals that are applying the therapy. Now, this sounds terrible, but unfortunately, we're dealing not with a scientific issue, we're dealing with a policy issue. This has to be addressed at the highest levels of government and medical industry. If profitability is the only way we're going to succeed in treating patients for whatever disease, then this therapy can never be considered because it's just simply not going to fit the business plan. So this is a bigger issue, far bigger than any of the scientific evidence. Now, people can say, well, the science isn't there yet. We haven't had clinical trials yet. Believe me, there's massive evidence to suggest the success of this approach. So the scientific issue is no longer a viable issue. It must be something other than that. And that's what I wrote in my book. These are other issues that go on to this. The scientific issue is just a few bumps in the road. They throw that out there to make it look like, oh, this can't be done because we don't have all the science. Believe me, we have the science. It's just that people don't want to look at that science because it gets them too disturbed to know we have something, but we can't use it for other reasons which go beyond science. And this is the way I view the situation.